Hey, what's up everybody? This is Osterberg501 and today I want to go over skill points and talent trees in Diablo 4. And I'm going to be going over this information in a little bit of a different way because we have been able to see the different iterations of these systems from the quarterly updates from the developers of Diablo 4. And when talking about something like the talent trees, they have actually been completely remade. So I wanted to go over the first versions of these systems and then go over the most up-to-date ones because I think there's some information we can still glean from the original versions. And we also get to see the progression and where they're actually taking Diablo 4 as a whole. Now, the first time we actually got information on skill points and talent trees was back on November 3rd, 2019. And these would be the first iterations of these systems. So Diablo 4 will feature permanent character progression as well as personal customization. To accomplish this, we're reintroducing both skill points and talent trees. Skill points will be earned by leveling up as well as hunting down rare tomes out in the world. You can choose to spend skill points as you go, save them up to invest more heavily in skills that are introduced at higher levels, spread them out between multiple skills, or focus on your favorites to make them more powerful. Now, in the clip they show, there is a skills and talents tab, but they never showed the skills tab. It sounds like these were just points you got from leveling up and hunting down these tomes, and you would use them to upgrade different abilities, but that's pretty much all the information we got on that. But we do get to see in the clip them actually going down one of the talent trees for the sorceress. And this talent tree is essentially very similar to something you would find in, say, a vanilla World of Warcraft talent tree, but it's just one of them. And some of the things you'll find in this talent tree is elemental damage and resistances are increased by 2%. You can put 5 points into that. Your damage is increased when enemies are outside of melee range, 5 points into that. And then when they get lower in the tree, they show something called Endless Winter, which critical strike chance against chilled and frozen enemies is increased by 30%, but your chill effects no longer freeze. So getting lower in the tree gives a bit more substantial effects, and there's a possibility of having actual abilities at the very bottom of the tree, but they never show that. And I'm very glad that they have remade this system since then, because this system is definitely much too simple and too small for a game like Diablo. So that brings us to when we got to see the remade version of these systems, which was on September 29th, 2020. We have made some major changes to Diablo 4's skill and talent systems. We've been reading through a lot of comments from the community and agree that the talent system needs more depth. And then they show the first look at these new skill and talent trees. And below this it says the sorcerer's skill tree, the branches contain skills and skill upgrades while the roots contain powerful passive effects. And this screenshot is of a literal tree, and essentially all of the roots at the bottom are passive effects and everything at the top are either actual skills you learn, so actual usable abilities, or skill upgrades. Now, this is obviously a work in progress version of the system because a lot of the skills at the top kind of just feel a little bit slapped on. So most likely the UI and presentation of this will look completely different, but you can get the idea of the system they're trying to go with here. The upper skills section is where you spend the skill points that you earn by leveling up. Here you unlock brand new skills, unlock additional functionality for these skills, and unlock passive points that you can spend on the lower passive section of the tree. So they give some examples of spells for the sorcerer: charged bolts, you release 6 bolts of lightning, an erratic pattern that deals some amount of damage, and then ball lightning, conjure a ball of lightning that slowly moves forward, zapping enemies for some amount of damage. You can spend skill points on square nodes to unlock new active skills for your character, like the ones we just went over. Those are square. And then spend points on circular upgrade nodes to enhance active skills you've unlocked. So one of those is charge bolts. Charge bolts creates an additional bolt. So that one's pretty simple. And then we have upgrade node for ball lightning. Ball lightning collapses into crackling energy at the end of its path, and crackling energy gives you 25 mana when you move towards it. And then as you explore the branches of the tree, you will find passive points. So there's just some points throughout the branches branches that you unlock passive points. And you spend those passive points that you unlock at the top of the tree to spend on the passives that are on the roots of the tree. And they give an example of that, which is Overcharge, rank 1 of 3. Lightning damage has a 3% chance to create Crackling Lightning, and Crackling Lightning gives you 25 mana when you move near it. And they're aiming for around 30 to 40% of the nodes in the tree to be filled out once you're max level, so you're not going to be able to get everything. So if that's a little bit confusing, essentially it's a tree. All of the branches at the top are active skills you learn, skill augments for those active skills, and then you also unlock the passive points through different pieces of the branches, which you then spend those passive points you unlocked to get passive effects from the roots of the tree. And I do think this is a much better version than the first skill and talent system that we went over in this video, but we're still going to have to see a more updated version, see the updated UI, and see all the options throughout here, because this definitely gives a lot more depth. And you also have to remember that this is going to be just a piece of your customization. You're still going to have all of your gear. You're still going to have other passive points that you earn just by leveling up, that you put in different stats that you just use to increase your main stats. Then you'll also have the Paragon board system once you get into the end game. So you're going to have a lot of different customization, and this is just one of those pieces. And the reason I want to go over the first iteration of these talent trees is because I think it shows a general direction of where they're taking Diablo 4. I think a lot of the original information we were getting was much more along the lines of Diablo 3, where there wasn't a ton of customization. Everything was kind of super simple, didn't have a lot of depth, and in a similar way to Diablo 3, pretty much all of your power was seeming to come from your items. But then fast forwarding a couple years, it seems like pretty much every shallow system that didn't have a lot of depth has been pretty much remade to add in a lot more depth, a lot more customization, and a lot more opportunity to create unique builds and customize the playstyle you want to create. And I think this new skill system shows that about as well as anything else. But that's pretty much all the information I could find on these skill trees. Like I mentioned, these are still obviously work in progress. I think we will probably end up getting an update on this system before the game is released in 2023, and I hope they keep along these lines of just adding more depth with this system. So subscribe if you want to see more Diablo 4 or other videos. Leave a like if you liked the video. Leave a comment down below what you guys think about this skill tree, and thanks for watching.